Okay, I'm here. I'm here. Hi, everybody. Whoever's here. Alright, we are live. Okay, just making sure my setup's okay. Hold on. Okay, I see him. Okay, I see him hosting. I see Sean hosting. Let them know. Go ahead and start it up. Who's in the chat with us? Oh, hi, Prada. I'm glad my chat's working so I can actually get these messages in live. I think you're starting now. Okay. I gotta find these guys. Aha. This is the finals for Gladiator Beast Wars #2, aka Gladiator format. An exciting finals between GB and Hero Beat. Let the music commence. Looks like Aretos is going to win our piece here. Hope my volume's okay and everything. Let me know if there is a problem. Aretos is going to T-pose pass. Could be, depending on he's on his Sangan Reaper. Sean's going to lay down the Sidra. Yeah, it was a Sangan. I figured it was one of those two, because GB, I don't think this particular build of GB is running Huplomus. And I haven't seen it based on Aretos' replays. This will be an interesting matchup. This is, Hero Beat managed to crawl its way into the finals here. Not crawl, that's a bad way of saying it. Sean punched his way into the finals here. This matchup is interesting because in Edison, normally Hero Beat is favored against the Glad Beast given they have the extra tools at their disposal, like the Gemini Sparks and a few other things I'm blanking on. I guess because GB's been nerfed by a point with one Bestiary and only one copy of Cold Wave. As opposed to here, where Hero Beat is Super Rogue, and GB is basically Tier 1. I'm not going to say Tier 0, because I just don't think it's accurate. Tier 1 definitely, but not like... This is... There's far from like the only deck you can play to counter. GB being at full power with the Cold Waves and Bestiaries, and the things like Triple Solemn really are in their favor, if that makes sense. But Sean here has beaten through a couple of GB decks, so one perk he does have going for this deck is that a lot of his monsters have a high attack power, so things like the Aquarius are not just going to beat over them easy without the attack boost. And Sean's really not putting any monsters in defense position for GBs to take advantage of. And because they're running the package of like Honest, the Solemns, and even like we saw skill drains, it's gonna make Aretos a little bit more difficult to get off things like Gyzarus pops and whatnot. There is a skill drain. A lot of Sean's deck can fly right under it. That's going to take the 1k off. So again, Aretos has to find a way to clear a lot of these monsters with 1900 attack, or he can just Mirror Force them. It's one way to solve the problem. Now, Skill Drain, Aretos will still be able to shuffle his monsters back into the deck because that is a shuffle for cost, but they're not going to get their effects upon the summon unless he does some funky thing like pop the Skill Drain or book the GB down. GB only having 2 Book of Moons here, but it benefits them so well because they can do their contact fuse with face down monsters. So you can summon a Bestiary, use a book to like dodge something like the trap hole or the bottomless trap hole, and get your card off that way. We'll go over the decks later to kind of show you like why GBs are like the way that they are, for those who don't really know. And then, well, you can see what. Well, his name is Psalter in the Discord, but I'm just gonna call him Sean because his name in the challenge is Sean Zalou. Psalter, Sean, whatever. It's just easier for me to say Sean. Aretos having a little bit of a toolbox thing going with the GB. Similar to how you did Prada, you had a little bit of like extra tools at your disposal, like the Spear Reaper, Morphing Jar, DD Whirly, and yeah, again DD Whirly. Sean gonna flip out his Mirror Force of his own, get that Bestiary off the field. Game. This does make for good finals because the game so far is not very one-sided. It's kind of boring when I set up a stream for the finals, and it's unfortunately just a back-to-back eviscerate, back-to-back like kill. I think of when I broadcasted the Trishula Mirror Force trades. Yeah, I think back to the last game I streamed, the Trishula game with Hanzo versus Jazz, and Hanzo was just able to get. Hanzo just had a very favorable matchup against the Plant Synchro deck, and it was just like, not too much fault of Jazz, it was just the poor matchup, and Hanzo got into all those things like floodgates and whatnot. Hero, we got the Neos Alias come down, and Hero B may not having all the stuff like Gemini Spark to work with, but having triple Honest is phenomenal for the deck because it gets around this skill drain here A, and you can pretty much win the battle phase over GBs. So now Sean has discussed in the Discord that he has things he would like to do differently about this deck and ways to upgrade it. So it'd be nice to see what the improved version of this is coming up. You'll see Sean will be running a very interesting card, an old quick play spell called Order to Charge. Oh, here comes the Gyzeris. Aretos won't get the spell destruction. Sorry, the Aretos. Blah 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 blah. Aretos won't get the pop effect, but having that 2400 attack monster is still very good. And if Aretos does manage to get a successful attack, oh, the Solemn. I was gonna say if Aretos did manage to get a successful attack in, he could still pitch the Gyzeris for effect and get 2 GBs in the board. But that Solemn's gonna come in clutch. Aretos is now kind of on the back foot here. Sean keeping his monster up with 2 back row. We'll see how Aretos can spin this story. What was I saying before I like ADHD'd? I completely forgot. I got sidetracked. Oh yeah, sorry. Sean was running an interesting card. It's an old AST quick play spell, Order to Charge, where it's pretty much the Temu version of Gemini Spark. It's where you target it's a quick play where you target one of your normal monsters, tribute it, and then you can pop an opponent's monster. So it's like a supplement because we don't have Spark yet, but it's unfortunately kind of ass because A, you don't get a draw after it, and B, you can't target spell trap cards, and C, your opponent is given a window to counter that effect because it targets for activation. So your opponent could easily do something like a Wing Blasted or something, and use even further of a minus. So it's nice in a clutch. It's nice in a specific situation, but it does end up being kind of a neg 1 more often than not. I'm not commenting too much in the play-by-plays. I've just been kind of letting play on screen those. I've just been talking. Yapping. This guy's just straight up yapping. about the little quarry here. Skill Drain putting in a lot of work in this particular matchup. Aretos not having access to just spell trap room. Here comes the Tiger. Now this Tiger will flounder Drain if it chooses to activate because it tributes itself a cost. Makes me wonder what Aretos is going to grab. This might be a last-ditch effort to try and get this board cleared. He might do something like summon a Bestiary, trigger the effect, and then have a... I don't even know if he has a... playing like an MST from hand or something to pop the skill drain and then guarantee that. Here comes the Darius. Is he... Oh, he's gonna... Yeah, he's gonna try to do like a... There we go, that's what I thought. That's what I thought. Aretos is a... He's a clever man. He's not just gonna... Wasn't just gonna do nothing for no reason. Now Sean has a chance here to try and interrupt this. Well, hold on. Wait, no. Oh, never mind. I'm thinking of something else. We're fine. Darius does negate the effects of the... Ooh, haha. We're gonna get that. There's that order to charge. Now this... this coincidentally does go card neutral because of Darius's drawback effect. Here comes the E-Call, and it looks like he's gonna dig another alias out of the deck. I'm just gonna punch Aretos in the face for 1900. But yeah, Darius does negate the effects of the monster at special summons. But that's hardly a drawback if you're bringing out Bestie and then you contact Fuse and the Gezeros. Alias might just be able to punch Aretos down to like 0. Unless Aretos can find a way to dig himself out. Here comes the Sidra. Now, here's a TT. Okay. That's how to get that out of here. There's no call to Haunted in this format, so neither player can flip call to do stuff. Prisma's gonna come down, gonna put a Bestie in the graveyard. Punch in for that 17. The Hero Blast, which OTC was that order? Yeah, that was a very big use order to charge. Yeah, I don't know how well it does in other like matchups, but you can. It's an interesting form of interrupt. Comes the Exile that might be swinging for lethal. Yeah, and he goes down. Now, Sean is coming from the lower bracket, so he's gonna have to win 2 games, and then Aretos will have to win 1 to clutch the tournament. But Sean still has a very good chance of taking this home. We'll just see how Aretos is going to decide versus this particular matchup, because it's not like... Most of the matchups you're going to expect here are the mirror match with Glads. You're going to expect the matchup versus Dad Return, anyone who's on the Lightsworn. Those were the most common ones historically. There was always like some people trying to do like a variant of Perfect Circle Monarch. But we've seen a little... We've seen some different decks come up in this particular format outside of like the usual GB, Lightsworn, Dad Return. Actually, Clemen's last tournament won with the gadgets, and he pretty much stacked up all the big boards with the negates and everything, like maxing out the oppression, solemns, the everything, because his deck could just shut down all the special summons and just keep punching with the gadgets. So that was a good job by Clemens last tournament, even though gadgets are considered kind of a brain dead deck. We're seeing some potential with these very back row heavy decks. Here comes the Cold Wave. Does Sean have a way to answer this? Here comes a Solemn. That's gonna cut his life points in half. It's gonna... Let's... That heavy storm coming in. Aretos pro set heavy. Oh my man. Here comes the pre-mat. Aretos might combo in, which might just go crazy on Sean here. Sean now out of back row and out half his life points. Here comes the guy Zeres. Okay, Aretos might be coming in to clutch this game too. Guys, and Reborn, this might be it. Oh my gosh, the OTK. Oh my gosh, the OTK. Oh my god. Aretos just coming in. It smoked him out of the water. Holy cannoli. Holy smokes. That was just crazy. So that's that can demonstrate the that's another demonstration of the Gladiator beast stack. Like once you shut down that back row from the opponent, once you shut off that options, you just go in and start. You go in, set up your combo, get the bestiary out, and get the guy Zeres out. We still have. It's crazy to have Monster Reborn in a format like this, but overcalled the Haunted of all things, but they were mirroring the OCG ban list at the time. But Sean gonna be able to be the comeback. Oh my gosh, this. See, I feel like for this format, these beatdown decks have some merit. Like the Hero Beat and the Gadgets, they can play around the multiples of. They don't lose out to like the roll oppressions. They're as long as they keep their big guys on the board, the GBs just can't clear it naturally. Skilljane's gonna come out, stop Aretos from his Stratos surge. Does he? Okay, is he chaining MST? Oh, he's gonna flip another. Oh my god. This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them. Opening on double skill drain is very good in that situation, I guess. Comes the Neos. He's gonna punch Aretos for 19. Gonna set another back row. Aretos under this whole back row nonsense. It'd be a good time to have that heavy or that. Yeah, I guess the heavy storm. Skill drain also being a nice little tool. Considering it doesn't get shut down by Cold Wave. It will stop some of the GB's pop effects from happening. Not the summons, but at least the pop effects. Oh, good. Looks like Aretos did bring in the Hoplomas for this. Because usually GPs are just not bothering with it. But good here to have the 2100 defense, considering it mirrors that of Cyber Dragon. Okay, I'm the honest. Yeah, Sean just might be beating Aretos down. He's up 7 cards to 6 here. Sitting pretty comfortably on the skill drain. Yeah, this Aretos just gonna have to block the hits. It's amazing how far these kind of, I don't want to say how, I mean the game does at this point start to gear towards like special summons and combos, especially going to 5Ds, but it's amazing how some of these vanilla beat decks, I'm using it as like a broad term, how a lot of these decks that like sit on back row and have high stats still have some carryover even to like 2011. I recently saw Aretos with a variant. Aretos won a Trishula with a variant of TG, Stun, everybody's favorite deck. And he ran Gmorph Warwolf, which you'd think like, okay, why is he running vanilla monsters? But it had some synergies with cards like Horn the Phantom Beast, and it was able to clear things like Thunder King Ryo. Sean's gonna stop the cold waves because it's already January. PJ telling the worst jokes of all time. PJ going off topic once again. He's gonna slam the cider down. It's gonna hit a bottomless trap hole. It could be curtains unless the Aretos has another play set up. Look at this man. Look at all these. Look at all these fucking trap cards we gotta play through. God damn. Yeah, normal summon the Darius. Does he have a tiger? Does he have something you can do? A test tiger. He does have a bestie in the graveyard, so he might try to do the same as before. Get another Darius. Do the same thing. You can't do a test tiger. You can rinse or repeat the play. It might be doing the same as before. He might have a dust. There you go, duster. I was gonna say dust tornado there. And 7 tools, and I think that's yet another negate. 7 tools coming in super clutch here. Looks like Sean's gonna take this first game of the finals. And we're gonna go into the second set. Sean saving his skin from the loss here. I don't know, Sean's seeing the chat. Yeah, it's gonna be another set here. Sean might say this is unfair, but it's exciting for me because I get to watch another duel. Aretos could win the RPs here again. We'll see if what happens here. Is Sean going to push the way through the losers bracket into the winners, into win the tournament, or will Aretos finally seal the deal? We'll find out in this exciting conclusion to the Gladiator Beast Wars 2. I know, we got into a second match. Wasn't sure about the Hero Beast stuff, but we'll see what happens. It looks like it's holding no bars. It looks like it's got some very good things going for it in this format. Sean gonna set all the back row in the world. No monster. He could have just drawn all of his spell trap cards just to time around. Next time on Dragon Ball Z. Goku's opponent opened but Sangan crushed card virus. What will he do in a handful of 3 targets? I think Aretos gonna sit comfortably on the Stratos and give Sean a taste of his own medicine, being punched in the face by hero monsters. Looks like Sean having kind of a rough break hand, desperately looking for either a normal summon or a emergency call, but he's finally gonna cave in, give Stratos the prison, send that motherfucker to the Shadow Realm. Now, look at this board state. Look at this board state. I mean, life points are a bit different, but Aretos normal summon the bestie, just asking for another knee. Here comes a Mirror Force, gonna put that bestie to bed. This might be the game state of all time. Stacked hands, stacked back rows. Finally, Sean going into a Rhoda. Grabbing a Stratos. Using the effect, gonna grab a Neos alias out of the deck. Normally this deck shouldn't have too much problem getting into its beaters because you have both, you have 2 Rhoda and you have 3 emergency calls, which are going to grab either the alias or the Stratos for you. Aretos is going to get beat back by the Stratos here. Side just going to get slammed down. Sean says, sure thing, no problem. I lean too far back. Comes the Laquari. No torrential anything. The Brain Con. Oh my gosh, does Sean have no Mirror Force? Uh-oh. might have to... Yeah, he's going to burn a Solemn for that, but I don't think Aretos is quite done his turn yet. I don't know, Sean might be in a bit of a pickle. Reborn. Bestiary. Oh my gosh. Looking grim for Sean. Got the Gazeras coming out. We're gonna smoke probably... I mean, it's pretty obvious you're hitting the back row in this situation. Oh, he's gonna hit the frickin' Stratos, man. Looks like the Scolding comes out. I was gonna switch Sean to very low life points. I mean, if Sean doesn't have... Yeah, that's... Yeah. Yeah, Sean was pretty cooked there, having multiple dead turns of no normal summon, or no Alias, no Stratos, and Aretos will just get a lot of free damage in on him. So, I guess that's one... I guess we saw one fallacy of the deck is not having a live monster to keep yourself safe. But I still think the deck is a very respectable rogue option. And whether or not Sean wins or loses, I think the deck's very noteworthy. I give my commemoration for the deck. I think it's cool. It is just kind of like vanilla beat in a nutshell, but it has some... There's a method to the madness in the format. Has some very respectable pros and cons. Well, respectable pros and cons, which you just might just be due to the limitations of the format. Again, missing a few of its core components from the from Edison. But that's also a result of like not having the E-Hero Omni fusions yet, which like really give it a boost. Because people have tried in like past formats to make some decks around like the older fusion monsters, but they're fun, I guess, but at the same time, like they're not nearly as consistent as having the Omni fusion summons. Here we go. Kind of wild having fusions for the deck. Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. You have to think a lot more. You have to think a little different about the deck building. Because again, I think like it's more just kind of like vanilla beat than it is like hero beat. Like, yeah, it's the monsters are hero monsters. That's a given fact, but you're still just normal summons with high stats. Darius gonna close this DD War Lady. It'd be nice to have, obviously it'd be nice to have like the miracle. Obviously things change a lot more, especially when you get Elm Hero the Shining, but having the Omni fusions wouldn't be too crazy given that Geyseris is a card that got printed. Like, that's so crazy that one singular powerful fusion monster for GBs like pushed them so much far. Ooh, this is gonna be a nice heavy storm. And Aretos is gonna shave. He's not gonna clear the back row, but he's gonna get 4k life points out of Sean. Obviously, if you're Aretos, you'd rather see this back row gone, but you do burn through one of these 3 Solemns. I swear, Solemn is like one of the top 5 cards of this format. Just being able to negate either an inherent, just based on the ability to negate the inherent summons of either like Dark Armed Dragon or Gazeras or Most things. Most of these crazy boss monsters. Even if you get Light Sworn, they have to be careful not to drop their JD on a Solemn, I guess. Sean keeping control of the board. We're just gonna bring on the side row. It's gonna need a bottomless trap hole. Rhoda's gonna come out. We're just gonna normal summon his Stratos. Exiled Force, yeah. Nice card to flounder the skill drain. Gonna collide the Stratos. Alias. That's gonna come in. Hit Aretos for 19. Unless the Mirror Force. Aretos making work to. Ooh. I'm saying it's gonna try to make work to keep his monsters on the board. I think that's like. That's probably the win con for playing against this Hero Beat deck is to keep their monsters off the board, as most of their cards require depend upon having the monster being stationed like this. Given like Honest and what he's playing, the Order to Charge, and you're basically you're having all these Psalms and bottomless cards to keep your guys safe. Prisma's gonna come down. We're just gonna Prio. That is not going to get a mill because Prisma's old errata. Well, first errata. Original errata. I'd be careful with saying original and first errata. Oh. His own monster gets him. Battle phase. Sean forced a Book of Moon, not willing to risk taking the 300. I guess, what's he doing? Taking something. Normal sets. It might be he might have set an Honest in defense position. That's my best guess. So this does give Aretos sort of breathing room, the fact that he set a monster. And he's kind of having to turtle a little bit here. But also making sure not to blow it either. Like I said earlier, Sean not wanting to take that 1700 hit. Yeah, let's be honest. And some of his cards do require that 1k cost. Oh, here comes the E-Call. Now, Sean can't put Honest back in his hand because that's the effect that occurs on Resolution. The Honest... But it did buy Sean a bit of time because of its high defense line. He's gonna set one. Thinking about what he plays next. Because now Aretos is out of monster. Hopefully he can get some. How many? Sean has one more Alias in the deck. Aretos doing a little contemplation. It is a pivotal moment, so I can understand taking a bit longer, even when it looks like a very simplified game state. I'm wondering. Well, I am wondering what he's plan is. Oh, he's just gonna leave that. He's just gonna. Sean's gonna keep himself safe, not punch him with the Honest as well. Aretos probably gonna have. This is probably the do or die moment for Aretos. He does not have a heavy storm to work with. Hopefully, he probably reserved what he's gonna do for a turn to try it on this one. By the way, I'd love to, after this match, after the series is concluded, to do the coverage and kind of we get to see some of the decks that people brought. We did see quite a bit of, I think we saw some Dad return, definitely. Make more of a high representation. But, to be honest, I can't freaking remember. Oh, Aretos does Dust Tornado, Skill Drain, Beware Lady. Gets rid of that. Did Sean not, I thought Sean would have maybe attacked him with Honest, and I wonder what he was worried about. Aquari, gonna eat a bottomless. Ooh, okay. What's that? Look at this, just a conga line of traps. That's all 3 bottomless trap holes. Goodness gracious. Oh, the Reborn. Oh my goodness. What a card. What a card to see in this situation. Grabs the Stratos. Probably looking to grab the final, what's it called? Oh. Aretos thinking. Looking to grab the next Neosalius. And with Sean having a normal summon ready. Aretos might have one more thing he can do. Otherwise, I'm just gonna take the blows. Does he have a wrench? Normal? What's he got? No. Tough break. Tough break. Okay, now we're actually getting into the absolute finals. The final. It's all final here. Aretos will be going first. But oh my gosh, this has been quite a fight. This has been quite a slugfest here. Big monsters and heroes and beasts punching each other in the face. I know. Match 2, game 3. Who is it going to be? Is Aretos going to take it home, or is Sean going to put a new deck into the first place center? Aretos gonna open up that Broda, gonna grab the Stratos, gonna grab the Prisma. Back row. 1, 2, 3. Pass. The Dust Shoot. Oh, that's a very good card to see. Very good card to see in your opening hand for game 3. The fact that Sean is automatically putting Honest goes to show that that was the only card that Aretos could shuffle in. He does have the E-Call though, grabs his own Stratos. Is Aretos gonna try to Solemn this maybe? Or Bottomless it? He's gonna Solemn the Stratos right off the gate. That's gonna leave. This looks like it might leave Sean out of eight cards. The rest of his hand looks like was just back row, but Aretos having full knowledge of that gives him a huge advantage. Dust Tornado is gonna scope out one of these bad boys. Ooh, hitting his Psalm. That's a. That gets rid of one Psalm. Aretos having a very strong opening here, getting the Dust Shoot with the hand knowledge and cutting the opponent off of the Stratos and the Alias. And now you can just Aretos can just kind of sculpt his play based on the 3 back row. Here comes the bestie. Gonna eat a bottomless. No, just already eat it. Stratos direct attack. take a hit. Aretos gonna set one. Oh, Sean draws. Looks like it's no bueno. Aretos gonna keep punching in his life points. Here comes Sangan. Gonna take a full 2,800 here yet. Aretos taking full control of this. We'll see if Sean can pull back in, but it does hurt Sean to have Aretos know what his back row is. Here comes the Rhoda. Is gonna summon a Neosalius to the board. Does Aretos have something for this? Nope. Is that gonna clear the Stratos? Oh, Aretos is gonna book that down. Keep his Stratos on the board. Now Stratos can just clear this Neos, and Sangan can probably swipe in for another 1k. Oh, he's a DD Orly. Is he gonna banish this? Oh, he's gonna negate this. Oh, interesting. He's gonna negate the summon outright. He's gonna say, "The hell with that shit." Sean putting the life points. Oh, he's gonna hit the other back row with the MST. If Aretos has another thing you do, no. He's gonna clear the Neos. Sangan gonna put him to 700. He can no longer pay for a skill drain. Not even a brain con. This could be. Oh, gosh, the Doomcal. The Doom Caliber Knight, the other card that Sean included, even though. Oh, you know what he can do? He can. Depending on Sean's back row, he might be dead because Prisma's going to trigger, Doomcal is forced to trigger, and I think this is it. Sangan. Is this it? Yeah, that's it. That's it. Aretos has clutched the match. Very good set of cards to have game 3, though it was still a testament of Aretos' skill. So, yeah. Still a really phenomenal run by Hero Beat in a format like this, where you'd think it really wouldn't work because it's missing so many tools like Gemini Spark, Miracle Fusion, but working well as a kind of a Drain Beat deck, getting this far. Very impressive with the finalists. Again, Kurat's Aretos. He won a match on my stream. We were talking last night, and Aretos, the past times where I've featured him on a stream for one of these finals is unfortunately where he was on the losing end, but now he's back up here on top. I'm just gonna leave this running. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna jump into Discord, do the end the tournament, do the coverage, and we get to see some deck lists. So yeah, that was a very exciting finals to see. It was I really didn't know who was gonna take it home. It looked like anybody's game, but Aretos said, give me that win. GB's still being strong, but this is not a pure dominance, if you know what I mean. Okay. Sorry, Discord's being slow for me. I'll leave that running. Okay, I'm gonna wrap. Okay, he needs to admit defeat. Set. He's got to input. I gotta input the result. Yeah, we're talking on Discord. That's definitely the worst part of DE is where, like, even if the person coming from the lower bracket, loser's bracket, has to win twice. Okay, that replay should be there. Should be all good. And I have a copy of it, just in case. Just gonna double check it's all good. Yeah, we're fine. Now I can end, then we can do some coverage. Okay, here's the card here, Order to Charge. Target one non-token normal monster you control. Tribute that normal monster on resolution, mind you, not cost. And if you do, destroy a monster. Now, it's a little bit different from, what's it called? Spark. Is that it doesn't actually target, so the only cost is the normal. It targets the monster on your side of the field, the monster you're playing to tribute, but it doesn't. But on resolution, similar to the Stratos' first effect, where it doesn't actually target what's destroying. It's just you just make the choice of what to destroy on the res when res happens. Just waiting for the Retrobot to finalize. Just taking a bit of time. We can see what the guys were playing here. Oh my god, it's still thinking. Come on. Come on. I need to do the coverage. Oh well, we can rewatch what we just saw. Sad, baby, sad. I have to wait for when it finalizes. I realize I'm repeating myself. Bro. I might have to do it again. Oh, that's probably not a good idea, but oh, there we go. It looks like it's done. Just the first time it borked out. That's the result for GBW02. Where is this shit? Any minute now, we're going to get to see some deck lists. Most deck lists. Blogspot. Okay, that's what I was looking for. Alright, guys. Here we have it. Congrats to Aretos on winning Gladiator Beast Wars 2. I'm just going to briefly adjust the display. I think I... Do I? No. Okay. Here are some of the decks that reached the top half. Just out of the way. So yeah, first place we have GBs by Aretos, The Underdogs Hero Beat by Sean here, GB by Kyle in third, Diddled making a fourth place of Dad Return. Yeah, there's a lot of, look how much Dad Return was in this. Down here too. Dad Return, actually we can just, Dad Return had the highest representation out of taking 7 out of the 19 slots. GB taking 5. Light Sworn 2, Perfect Circle Monarch 2. 1 person, 6 Sams, 1 Gadget, and 1 Hero Beat in the runner-up. And most common card, Solemn Judgment, because it's, I told you, it's one of the, it's just one of the top 5, arguably one of the top 3 cards in this format. It's just too useful to pass up. Use a Psalm to negate. There's Psalm. I'm gonna open up chat again. Chat keeps getting minimized. Look at the decks. Pretty typical, pretty standard GB lineup. This list looks a little more clean. Aretos adding a few extra cards in, like DD Warrior Lady. I don't think it's a normal card to run in Gladiator Beast deck, but because you have 2 Rhoda, like, why not? It seems. Aretos opted only for 1 Cold Wave in the main as opposed to 2. And that makes sense because the card isn't, I don't think is as functional in the mirror, if that makes sense. Like, if your opponent slams down a Cold Wave and you have, like, a Cold Wave in your hand, it seems a little bit redundant. So Aretos cut that. He got in the Double Dust Tornado. Triple Bottomless. Everything else is what you kind of expect from the GB deck of this period. 3 Bestie, 2 Aquari. He had a Hiplomas in the main, I wasn't sure. Ermillo, 2 Darius. And a 2 Hydra for extra plage. And then you have the Dark Panther and the Rescue Cats for the mirror match. And keeping CCV in the side, as you really only, without like Dark Panther, you only have 1 card that can actually use it. Or I guess like DD Crow can do it too. But pretty clean list by Aretos. This will shut down the rogue option as well. But this is probably the list that's the really talking point of this event. Oh, if you're talking about Gmorp Oral Filier, and he actually had a copy. Sean did say that he wanted to change quite a bit, and I think the Order of Charge card here was too worth it in the end. He also admits that like Captain Golden Skyscraper just ended up like siding out because they just didn't function that great. I think he would prefer to have some more like more monsters that work better in like skill drain. So the deck does have a lot of legs. Sorry, the deck has a lot of potential. going forward. The fact that I could punch into the runner-up spot here. Got triple Doom Cows, the triple Dynas. Keeping MST in on the side is interesting because most players I think would opt to have it in the main just to be able to deal with most things. Double Mask of Restrict for likely the Monarch, any Monarch decks come around, but so far Monarchs haven't really like proven themselves here. They're just, I think they're just they don't have as much like offense as say the GB or Gladiator, and just don't have as much defense as some of these other stun decks. Triple Oppression. You brought in the 7 tools. I think is great to have against the omnipotent Solemn Judgment. It's kind of like how in Trishula where we got people are actually like main decking 7 tools because the Solemn cards are just so omnipresent. But again, I gotta comment on how clean the lists are otherwise. This is definitely a nice frame of reference for future pilots of the deck to use and improve on for future events. We have Kyle on the other GB list here, running some different choice cards here. Opting for the Massive Strikes. We only have one Dark Panther. Got the triple Crow in the main. I noticed Aretos didn't main the DD Crow. I think he might have been prepared in advance for people bringing things like the gadgets. But that's all. Yeah, that's something Aretos did a little bit different. He opted for Sidras in the main as opposed to the DD Crows. Aretos is actually commenting here on the Discord. He says he mostly liked his list. He cut the Crows and CCV in the main because I felt like it was too vulnerable to anti-meta stuff in Game 1. That's a fair point. Given that Gadgets won the last event, it looks like he kind of anticipated more of these like stun lists coming around. So we do have an actual like rationale from him, and I find that very agreeable because while CCV is super powerful, it can't operate to every deck because you have so limited dark monsters. I suppose it's something like that return or like the PCM, which has more of an abundance of them. Did see a Light Sworn in here by our man Shabam. Light Sworn's still trying to push its way in. I'm not sure if it won. I'm not sure if it got far in the last event. Let's see. I forget if how far Light Sworn got in the previous event. Just gotta dig out the format here. Referencing the first event that happened. Oh yeah, Mist got 4th place with his deck. It was a price to run, but the problem is everybody seems to be on the Light Imprisoning Mirror. So if there's a way, I think it's actually this is more like Twilight. Just going off this list here. I think for Lightsworn to crack a little bit further, they might have to like splash in if there's ever loads. I'd like it to load the list. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Sorry, I'm looking at Kyle's list. I'll reload the link again. Oh, fuck it, I'll do it later. Sometimes the deck lists just don't load. Yeah, I think I was gonna say, I think for Lightborns to get a little bit further going forward, they might have to splash in some like other mill targets that aren't light monsters, because otherwise the whole deck just gets shut down by Light Imprisoning Mirror. And the fact that people are on like all these Solemns means you're gonna be hard pressed to remove the Light Imprisoning Mirror in the first place. Like the perks is that the deck operates just fine under Cold Wave, but the cons is that the floodgates just shut it down a lot harder. So, but Clemens came with a 6 Samurai. I think that deck. I think that deck really. I don't know about 6 Samurais. I think there's still. We need someone to work some magic with them. Respect to Clemens for bringing it. If there's a way to make it, I'm sure there's a way to make it work somehow. But at best, it might just be like tier 2 or tier 2.5. But then again, there's really not enough like of this format being played to like warrant like all the rogue options. They're a definitive like best decks, but still questioning the rest of the meta. Yeah, it just kind of does. Yeah, I don't know. Not sure how much more there is to talk about. GB takes their spot as the deck to beat, but some of the rogue options have been sneaking in here. It's mostly these like stun decks. We refer to Clemens' list from the last event. Shit, this shit never fucking loads, man. Come on, bro. Fuck me. Shit. I don't know. Well, it's all in format library for you guys to look at, so you don't need me to do it for you. But I'm going to log off here because I have to move on with my day. And it was fun to broadcast this finals. Tough break for Psalter, getting the win in the first game of the finals, but unfortunately losing the second match. And congrats to Aretos for getting a win in the format. And the next one will probably be around in a few months' time, but some people were petitioning to have, well, not petitioning, they're eager to see dad return of all formats, so I'll probably run that one back, see if we can break some of this FTK nonsense, see if some of the anti-meta stuff can stop people from getting all OTK'd over the place, even if the deck is iconic. But that's all for tonight. That's all for today. Thank you guys. Thank you, Prada. You're still here. I see you. And have a good one. Peace out.